All right, guys, let's do this. What up? It's JoJo on the radio. This is the iHeartRadio Countdown, and I can't believe I'm looking at these guys, some of my favorite people on the planet, and I mean that, not just saying that because you guys are in front of me and staring at me. That'd be awkward if I didn't like you guys.
It would.
Why are you going on about this? I thought you'd like us, okay?
Yeah.
It's okay. You don't have to make an
Everybody
excuse.
knows. We're your favorite. We get it.
We've been friends for a long time.
We have.
Exactly. Over a decade.
And it's hard to argue
Has
with
it
that.
been?
I mean,
Yeah.
we're fantastic. So
Wow.
you've got good taste. That's all that we're saying.
Big time, 3/4 of Big Time Rush.
That's right.
You have good taste. By the way, we'll get to where Carlos is at in a couple of minutes because he's got his own situation going on. I think he's on a boat, but we'll cover that in a second. Are you guys happy? You good? Everything cool?
So
great,
happy
man.
as can be.
Yeah, we've got 1 week left of heavy riding in the studio, so we're gonna go to the studio right after this.
And a couple little jingle balls
Right.
to wrap up the end of the year. Jingle balls. That's fun to say.
Jingle balls.
Awkward.
It's plural jingle ball.
Jingle all the way.
Let's just cover real quick because fans will beat me up a little bit. Where is Carlos? What's he? He's on a boat, right?
He's on a cruise right now.
Yeah, if he's not on
cruise.
one boat, he's on another. And then
right.
he would also tell me it's called a ship.
Right.
Okay, so
Lives on a boat, hangs out on a ship.
that's what I wanted to clarify because last time I talked with you guys, he was building or he had built his like houseboat.
He's got a catamaran, like a big cat out in Florida that he's been renovating that looks awesome. I know that Kendall's been out there. I haven't had a chance yet.
We need to go see it.
But
We
it
stayed
looks
on
amazing.
I got to
Tampa,
sleep on it.
Miami Jingle Balls. We can go and check it out.
So is it
Jingle
like
balls.
you can live on this boat?
Absolutely. It has more square footage than my house.
Shut up. We're talking the ship or his boat?
No, his
The yacht.
boat.
Well, it's all relative. It's
So-
pretty ship-like.
But it's, it's his wife and his 3 kids, and
Yeah.
so
No,
they
you have to. I mean, it's
they're
like
doing it.
It's a full on. It's not like a houseboat in the sense of built to be a house. It just happens to have a lot of cabin space on this. Otherwise,
I was picturing like not a small boat, but not that what you're describing was not in my head.
No,
I
it
was
is.
picturing like a just
Well, but now he's on an even larger boat, which is a cruise ship, because they cruise all
the time.
Well, it's Ocean's birthday, I believe.
And
Right.
we're better to have Ocean's birthday than in the middle of the ocean.
Right. You know
There
you
you
love the
go.
ocean when your kid is named Ocean. That
Right.
makes it- All right. Well,
Facts.
Carlos is not here. That's why we're working on an album, right?
We are.
Yeah,
we are working towards an album, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of great music. We've been writing for a while, but now, and especially this week, actually, we're really trying to create a cohesive body. So
Right.
I think the
Well, now we have
obvious
to get
end
the
of that would
songs-
be an album.
We have to get the songs finished. So
Yeah.
we have so many ideas going, but we need to
Yeah,
actually
there's a lot of,
finish
like,
the songs.
40%, 60%. There's a few 98%.
Yeah.
But
so
inside, we're giving it all 110%.
Yeah, it's 110.
So just know it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Now is the toughest thing about putting together an album? Well, I guess the toughest thing is the songs have to be the right songs, and all that
Right.
good stuff. But then you have to go from like 30 songs or whatever the number is, in some cases higher, to 12, 15. It's brutal, I would imagine, to whittle these things down.
Not in this case.
Oh, really? Oh, God.
Well, we've gotten better over the years of kind of knowing where the magic is. So I think it's actually a little bit easier to pick our favorites and
Right.
know which ones are kind of fit for an album.
Yeah, and because we're doing this, on our own as a band and with our favorite producers and co-writers, it really is a little family.
Right.
And so when we do a song, we get 40%, have a nice demo. If we don't feel like it's worth continuing, we move on to the next one, which has actually been a pretty healthy process and been a lot more fun this time around.
What we're finishing is likely going to be there. You know what I mean?
I guess, when you're, I think you guys, you put it to me like this. Now that you're doing this band, just you guys are the bosses. There's no boss above. You are the bosses. Then you have to think, am I going to spend money on studio time for a song that I'm not sure that I want? So you're thinking money as well.
Absolutely.
So, whereas back in the day, they're paying for it. Who cares?
Yeah,
right?
we're trying to be smart about
we're
it.
paying for it indirectly.
Yeah, we're always kind of paying for it. Let's be honest.
Remember that.
No,
Sometimes
we are
artists
smarter.
Don't know, and you're like, wait, I owe what?
Still paying for
Yeah,
it.
we are still paying for it, just for the record. And we're
God.
still unclear as to why. But no, you're absolutely right. You gotta. The cool part is though is that we have studios in our houses, so we can get
Right.
we get songs pretty far. But it does sometimes make the process easier with all 4 of us, a lot of people in a room, to go rent a nice studio and just bang out proper vocals on 3, 4, 5 in a few days.
Well, really, most of the songs, a lot of them have taken place over a couple beers. So even me and
Right.
Kindle will
Probably the
start with
best
an
ones
idea.
too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good melody that
Well-
you keep in your phone, and then you go and try to record something. So
Right.
that's
And do we have a target date, or maybe this is the evil question? Because if you put a date out, fans will be like, and then you're like, you have to push.
Don't even ask it. We don't know.
Don't know. Okay,
Don't
got
put it out
We don't
there.
know. I'm
Now
not
there's
even-
gonna be scrutiny.
I didn't even bring that up.
Somewhere within the next 12 months.
Yeah, I mean, look, next year for sure. How about that?
Absolutely.
As long as we're working on something, that's all you need to know. There we go. FYI, the track Paralyzed, which we'll play later on in the countdown. This is not, for people who don't know, and your fans, I'm sure they know, but for people who don't, this is not a quote unquote new song. It was written 11 years ago.
Yeah.
And the fans, it just stuck with them. And they want it's the fans are what brought this song back.
It's their song.
It is their song. Yeah, it's been in the vault for, like you said, 11 plus years, and so we're so excited to finally have it out.
Right. We got a lot of questions about it over the years. People would say, why hasn't that been out? Like, typically back in the day, we'd have an episode and then the song would be released shortly after the episode. But that was one that never came out. And so people are like, why? And we're like, why
we really
as well?
Know.
We don't know either,
Well, I think it was something to do with the label, and it just was one of those things that we never got out. But I think it actually has better legs now. We've kind of reimagined the song, and it feels very kind of rock and roll for us.
It's more exciting to be in Big Time Rush now than it was previously. That's what I'm reading from you guys, right?
It is.
I think so. I mean, we definitely had a ton of fun back in the day.
Of course.
I mean, we had so much fun. But now it's like having fun as adults, having fun with your best friends that you've got another 10 years of friendship under your belt. I mean, I think it is more fun. It's fair to say it's more fun.
And having fun in a super grounded way.
Yeah.
I think back in the day, we were all just on, tons of caffeine, trying to get through it and kind of like flying through it. And now we're kind of like, we know what we're doing.
Appreciate and get to enjoy every moment a little more.
Right.
There's a moment that sticks in my head, and I'll leave it. This is why I love where you guys are now. I don't know what year it was, but Kiss FM in Los Angeles. This is a national countdown, but back in the day, Kiss FM LA, which is where I work at. I recall a moment in the studio where you guys I don't know if I was supposed to be listening. I don't even recall what you said, but you were so frustrated with label not doing this and something, and I just felt the pain on you guys, and it felt just like a weight was on your shoulders, and I don't see that now.
No.
Well, I think a lot of artists have the same kind of upbringing where it's been really tough, and you kind of battle the powers that be over at the labels, and now that we've had time off, I think this truly is probably our best moment now, because it is just us, and when we care a lot more, we're patient with each other, and kind of egos aside, we're just loving it.
For sure. And, not to say that they're all bad. In fact, when you have a good relationship, and I see some artists, we have some friends, like they get along with the label, they're supportive. It feels more like a partnership. So if we ever do something like that, again, we want it to be a partnership. Like, hey, we appreciate it, bring in your resources and your opinions, but ultimately it's still our band. Right. So if that's recognized, I think it could be really cool, moving forward and finding a partner like that.
You guys have been on tour. We'll get to all the tour talks in a few moments, but I'm looking for crazy road stories. And some of the stuff that I've heard in the past from other bands, like losing a band member in Europe, you leave a band member in a city, a septic tank breaks on a tour bus, give me one of those weird things happen on the road. That was One Republic, by the way.
Which ones do we remember that we can talk about? I guess is a better way to go about this.
We tried to leave a band member in another. No,
usually once a tour, one of us is getting left behind. Yeah,
right.
No.
Well, Paralyzed is actually, not to bring it back to our single that's out now and crushing it.
Hey.
Paralyzed was, in order to get it done, we were recording, like setting up booths and backstage, like with just blankets and curtains, and we'd have 20 minutes between a meet and greet and then being on stage for sound check. So piecing that together took almost the whole summer, and it really came down when we were in Denver. We had a day off and decided, we're renting an extra hotel room. We're going to set up a booth and just go ham. We spent all night long basically
hand constructed
getting in there.
By Kendall Schmidt and Associates.
I'm talking pillows on. It was a cart, right?
Yeah, it was one of the luggage carts.
Yeah,
and we put a blanket over it.
Blanket over
and
it.
sang inside of it.
That was our sound booth.
The blanket had unknown stains on it.
Very, nice hotel, but
just saying.
Keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it wasn't mine.
TMI.
So this song that we're about to play on the radio, that your fans are, it's killing, was recorded in a booth, kind of a homemade situation in Denver with stains on a blanket.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, that might have been
2
me
o'clock in
spilling
the morning.
tequila on it. I'm not going to lie. That's probably what it was.
Oh, my God.
It was like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and we luckily got a room that was in between the broom closet and the elevator.
And we
did almost get kicked out, though.
One
we were
noise
so
complaint,
loud.
Yeah, but
right.
That is fascinating. Let's talk tour. We got the international tour, 2023. That's the dates have already been posted on that. Maybe some more dates soon. I have no idea. And the U.S. dates, those as of this moment have not been announced, to my understanding. What can you say about either of those tour situations?
I'm so psyched for South America. It's been so long since we've been over there, and it's one of our favorite places to play. So we have, 8 dates?
We have 6 dates right now.
We might add 2 more. I don't know, because I love it so much.
We really want to.
And Logan said it's 8.
Yeah, it could be. I play some little shows, some little cafes.
Yeah,
afterwards.
we can set up your dream situation, buddy.
Exactly.
Why do you love it so much?
South America just has the energy. We've done some really cool things. I mean, being in Brazil, I remember us hang gliding and grabbing beers on the beach.
Yes.
Like, that was such a great memory for us.
Hang gliding and landing on Ipanema Beach.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
And it's an energy. Like, our fans are crazy everywhere, but I feel like the further you travel, like, sincerely, the further away from home, fans go, hey, thank you so much for coming here. Like, we know it's a long ways away. So there's like a sense of appreciation. We're pretty spoiled over here too. Like, we can see a concert any night of the week for the most part. Sometimes when you go down there, it's like you're the biggest act. It's going to be there all month. And so they show up and they sing and they dance and they enjoy every moment of it.
What I love is it's also like it's an all ages event. Like, it doesn't matter if there's somebody who's 8 years old or there's somebody who's 80 years old. Like, they're singing all the words and they know the music.
Yeah,
If
grandmas
you're 80,
love
though-
Logan.
Yeah,
by the
they
way.
do.
Who doesn't? Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
It's true. No, you're right.
Isn't it wild? Like, when you think about it, yeah. When you think about, like, complete strangers, these people you've never met, and most you probably will never meet, they know every word of every song you've ever done.
It's wild.
It's just crazy. You know?
Right.
They know them better than we do sometimes.
They probably know you better than you. They I could probably do a trivia contest, you and them at a table.
That
and they
feels
would
like a
whoop
personal
your
attack
ass.
to me. I most of the time forget lyrics, but it's okay. Make your own.
By the way, speaking of Brazil, I have a little bit of a paranormal challenge I'll bring up to you guys later. I've worked something out. I put a little too much time in it. We'll get to that later. Another, I guess, random fact, and just comment on this about Paralyzed. It was, like you said, never included on the Big Time Rush TV show soundtrack. Never was included. So the only way until, now, recently, that fans could listen to this song Paralyzed was to actually go to the episode and scroll to the end and hit
Record it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Record it. That's the only. So, I mean, this song has already stood the test of time.
It's a brand new
About
classic.
time. Dude,
Look at that,
we
huh?
just kind of,
Phrase
brand new
it.
classic.
Yeah, and you know what? It was actually kind of a cool story. I mean, I don't know if this is your fact.
No, go ahead.
Okay, that Pierre from Simple Plan actually wrote that song.
I did not. Shut up.
Well,
Yeah.
we love Simple Plan.
And
I love
this
who
is
doesn't?
actually part of like the serendipity of how this came back together. When we were talking about, hey, maybe we throw this in our set. The day we're rehearsing was the day we were talking about that. We're like, how do we find this song? We don't know where it came from.
Like the stems.
And we run into Pierre rehearsing next door, Simple Plan, and he's like, "Oh, dude, yeah, no, I wrote it. I can send it over to you." And like literally sent it to us.
Right
and
in the nick of time, too.
At the
It
time,
was
did you
perfect
know?
timing.
Did you know he had written it at the time, or
Yes,
Yeah,
but we
we
didn't know he'd be
know
rehearsing.
rehearsing there
Oh,
the
gotcha.
day we talk about potentially throwing it in our set for the summer tour.
So it just worked out.
Shut
Stars
up.
aligned.
Meant to be.
And you know what? A beautiful collab. And Pierre, if you're listening, have him jump on guitar and jump on the vocals with us on some show. I don't know what,
That'd be
but
rad.
it would
Has
be
to
amazing.
happen. I was supposed to do like a lunch with him because he lives somewhere in Southern Cali. Here I forget where, but I had no. Maybe I should have looked that up.
Well, put a
Point-
little
note to self.
note to him. A little,
There you go.
We'll call it in a minute. Paralyzed. Let's do this track. I mean, I don't know what else we can say about it. I just learned that I don't know how I didn't know that Pierre from Simple Plan wrote it. So big shout to him as well. What else do people need to know before I play Paralyzed right now?
It's a fan favorite for
Clearly.
sure. That
Obviously.
was during the show for this last tour. That's where we went into the crowd and got to really connect with people and go sing directly with people, and often ended up in a pile.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jumping up and down and
A
having
few
a good
little
time.
mosh pits,
Yeah.
nothing
I was in a mosh
dangerous,
pit
though.
with James at your live show in L.A.
Yeah,
didn't
I
go.
didn't really plan on being in a mosh pit,
Wait, isn't that the
Yeah,
one
that's
where
right.
didn't you physically assault him?
I
in the-
did. It was terrible.
Yeah, that's
he's
what
gonna
I
come
bit
back
his
to
ear
haunt
or
you.
something like that?
It's gonna get worse and worse. Yeah, no, he brought a knife.
I did.
Yeah, he tried to.
I was going in. Back to what you guys were saying about, in your set, there's a part where you guys jump into the crowd. And yes, I won't get into the story again, but James, basically, I saw James in the crowd.
Right.
And James saw me, and I went to go give him the bro hug or whatever, and I accidentally poked him in the eye or scraped his, so it was, I'm sorry again, James.
Hey,
It's
James,
fine. It's fine. Yeah, never gonna get anher hug from me.
I can see
wouldn't
it right now.
Safety.
Hey,
Weird.
dude.
Oh God!
But okay, which brings me to, I guess my question is, you guys go you do this every night. I mean, talk about the injuries or near misses or the scrapes and bumps and bruises, and fans love you, but it's a little bit chaotic, and they go to hug you, and then your arm, you must be scarred up from this stuff.
Literally, there's a scar. You can see it right here. That's one of them.
It is the size of a fingernail, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. If you wonder where it came from, it's pretty easy to
my
discern.
I got a crotch grab one time.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
in fact,
I was
it's on
standing
video.
on top of it, and I got a little crotch grab.
That was also me. Sorry.
That was, just to be clear, JoJo definitely
He
did
got,
that.
as we like to call it, he got goosed.
Oh, really?
But the scary thing was I was up on a balcony, and so you go over because I usually like to kind of like run around and kind of go a little crazy for that song.
Right.
But somebody crotch grabbed me as I was,
And he's like 20
walking.
feet up, you
Yeah,
know?
like if I fell, it
Oh,
would
it
not
would've
be
been
There's an
poorly.
appropriate time to grope Logan, but if you're going to.
But I stopped while I was singing. I was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "What's going on?"
He went, no.
And then after that moment, I sang a lot higher.
Oh, my God. The stories you guys can tell. Oh, my, that's just great. All right, so I guess should there be like a blanket rule, like no poking James in the eye, clearly, no grabbing.
I just want to have
Logan
some
in the
warning.
Hey, Logan, I'm going to grab you. Just look out.
Hey, please don't grab your artists,
Yeah,
okay?
right.
Let
Fair
them,
enough.
let them have their personal space. Just remember the bubble.
There, exactly. This is something that you probably can't answer, but I'm going to put this out there. Are we working on a new TV show? Whether it be an extension of, the old one, revamped, scripted, unscripted. Do we do a movie? Maybe it's nothing like the old show, but you guys are we talk about music so much, you and I. You guys are such good actors.
We're
as well.
hilarious, is what you're trying to
JoJo
say.
just wants another cameo.
I do want another.
For sure.
That's what it is.
He's working for his next job
My
here.
episode was one of the top 20 viewed, right?
I mean,
Oh,
clearly,
for sure it was.
Yeah, number one,
Absolutely,
buddy.
life
right, guys?
imitating
Number one.
art,
Number one.
and you were very handsome. So
Oh, man, you can't deny that.
Well-
But are we looking at? I mean, you must be. Don't say what you can't, but you must be considering this, right?
In the right way, it would be very, very fun.
Yeah.
But that's figuring out what the right way is the
hard part.
that's our
Right.
That's
So
difficult.
we certainly had the thought and have had some conversations, but I wouldn't say it's much beyond that because we've been focusing very much on the music and touring and a bunch of great stuff that's coming out this year. But
I think after we get done talking about the album, then it's like, okay,
Right.
now we can see where that might happen.
Because I have an
think
idea.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, I have you know how agents and networks work. They see a band with a fan base, and they had, oh my God, they are actors too. I know they're coming at you left and right. Maybe with terrible ideas, but they must be. Or
Well-
if they're not, they should be.
Right.
right.
we're
I
talking
agree.
about it.
Okay, so leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm digging for something. Yeah, there we
We'll
go.
save this for the next interview.
Oh, perfect.
Okay?
Yeah.
You guys know I love the paranormal.
Yes.
I have a
We do know
podcast called Paranormalish, all about ghosts and UFOs. I'm obsessed. You guys have agreed to come on it and talk about this. I believe this encounter you had. I want to say it was in Canada. I think
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Get that later on. But you guys have a tour. The couple of tour things going on. But there's one where you're in Brazil, and you're Sao Paulo is one of the locations you're going to be going to.
Yes.
I have worked out something that I think you guys should consider, and this is for me, your buddy JoJo. But there is a hotel that is about 3.5 hours from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Scary drive already.
Yeah. The city, I hope I say this name right, Cambuquia, Brazil.
Didn't feel right, but
Yeah. Sounds like I said that wrong.
You need to maybe work on rolling your R's, but it's okay.
Cambuquia. AKA.
There's a lot going on in your mouth
sorry.
when you said that.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
Make sure to edit that
take
out.
a moment.
Oh my God.
Maybe have some water.
Or don't edit. Whatever. It's referred to as the City of Doom or the
Oh.
Cursed City.
Okay.
There's a hotel called the Grand Hotel. And this hotel, they've seen full body manifestations, like things walking that aren't there, but they are there, of people being pushed. You see the bearded man walking around. Room 204, I've already booked. I haven't booked the other rooms yet, but I started with one. Room 204, I've booked for you guys.
We'll all sleep in the same
I have.
room. It's fine.
I
Just
have.
one room for four
Well,
of us?
I'm going to get the other rooms as well, but I know that room 204 is notoriously haunted. So that's the
Carlos,
one I'm
we're putting
starting
Carlos
with.
in that one.
Oh, yeah, Carlos.
Totally.
Would you guys consider, going into a place like this, or specifically this one? It is a 3.5 hour drive, so I'm not sure what your schedule is when you're in Sao Paulo. But what are your thoughts on staying in some of these haunted locations?
100%.
You
Yeah.
would.
And I'm kind of one of those psychopaths that I actually don't mind watching a scary movie by myself.
Yeah, I do that.
Same. Yeah.
I do that. Especially like if for some reason Mika's out of town, she doesn't love scary movies. But if she's out of town, I'll watch one, and then I immediately regret it.
Oh, really? I think
You
it's kind
know?
of fun. It is kind of creepy, but I like adventuring and finding the paranormal. And actually, on our last tours, we used to do it quite a bit.
Really?
To try, yeah.
You searched out like a haunted, here's a hotel with a haunted room. Why not stay in that one kind of a thing?
Yeah, a few times.
We
All right.
discovered a couple Ouija
So we're
boards and
in,
had
yeah.
some strange moments with those.
Yeah.
Dude, a Ouija board in a haunted room. You guys, James, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trouble.
I'm
Well,
not as big of a fan, but I'd be willing to go.
Well, I've got a couple of Ouija boards set, and the Grand Hotel. Once again, I think you guys are in Sao Paulo March 13th. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if you have a break around there, but we're going to try to get you in this hotel. Fans of Brazil, if you hear this, Give me details on the Grand Hotel and what rooms they should stay in.
Well, now that you've said that, the scariest part is that fans are going to be popping up in this room. It's actually going to be a really scary experience. Way to give away the location.
Exactly. And the room
This is
number.
gonna
Way
be
to go.
great.
I am still shocked and thankful, speaking of Big Time Rush business, that you guys were given the rights to use the name. You now own the name, as far as the group, to my understanding, Big Time Rush. And I find this just fascinating because if I recall the conversations correctly, there wasn't much of a legal battle to get the name, right?
It was just a long-winded
It took some time.
conversation, but there wasn't really any argument about it. No.
I think they did the right thing because I think that you guys deserve this name. Now, sure, they still have the rights to use it for the TV show, clearly, because the show's on. I don't know all the details of it, but what are your thoughts on that? I mean, just how do you think? I mean, all I hear about in the news and stuff like this is battles and this and that, and I think this is one time where they kind of got it right. Were you shocked?
We are in fact Big Time Rush. So
Exactly.
I think that was something that we really wanted to hold on to.
But for example, the Jacksons, the Jackson 5 had to lose the name the Jackson 5 when they moved to. I think it was another. I forget what label they moved to, but they had to change from the Jackson 5 to Jacksons.
Interesting, yeah.
Interesting.
So something along
which
those
works
lines.
well.
Yeah,
They could all be symbols.
We
Could do
left,
that.
and kind of took a pause on the project with really good relationships. I mean, we really have always been friends with everybody over at Columbia and Nickelodeon and Viacom, and so it was such a long time. The brand went somewhat dormant. We came back and say, hey, here's our idea. We really laid out a really thorough game plan with the team we assembled, the concept we had, what we wanted to do. They looked at it and said, hey, we trust you guys. By all means, go out there and give it a shot. And the fact that it's worked so well, I think them as well as us are just pleasantly surprised and happy with.
It has a better ring to it than just Logan James, Kendall Carlos.
Right.
That would
true.
be a little
Now, did you ever? Okay, my follow up to that. Did you ever consider other names just in case they didn't give you the rights?
Not actual names, but
ETR,
considered
abbreviations and
but
stuff
considered doing something else if we couldn't. For
Like
some
if they would have
reason.
said no, you guys are still going forward with the project, just with another name. You'd prefer Big Time Rush, clearly.
It
But
could get really weird. We get like Elon Musk's child and have like E384.
It could be fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. I
Being
don't know.
Elon Musk,
We
we
could
could
just
start
be
like a
a
nice
barcode.
hashtag campaign too.
performing live tonight. Barcode.
Barcode.
Huh? What album or artist changed your life? A question for each of you. For me, Michael Jackson Thriller. That one just really threw me for a loop.
Totally.
What album or artist changed your life?
Wow. That's a big one.
It is, I
I'll
know.
say this, and I don't know. I would assume it was my parents, but probably the Eagles was one that changed my life for sure.
Absolutely. I love the
Not any particular
legendary
album,
band,
but just the Eagles are great.
Have you seen them in concert?
Yes, we did one time. As a band, we actually saw them one time.
Have you met them?
No.
No.
Would it be kind of just jaw dropping to meet somebody like that had that effect
Oh
on you?
yeah.
So cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what
Yeah.
about you guys? Tough one to
That's
throw on
tough.
you. Maybe I should have given you a heads
No,
up
that's
on
fine.
this.
No, it's good. I'm just trying to think. Like, there's so many favorite artists I have.
Well, there's one track, Jack Johnson, Better Together. I remember.
Oh, wow, yeah.
He was one of my first favorite artists, and I think one of the first artists I listened to that actually got me very interested in songwriting. I'd always liked music, and then I really listened to him lyrically and the stories he would tell and how he'd tell them. It just kind of gave me a different perspective on how you can write a song. But specifically that track, Better Together, my sister and I listened to when my brother was in the hospital, when he went to a major motorcycle accident and was in ICU for 6 months when he was just turned 18. And so I'll just never forget, when I listen to Better Together, it's a point in our life then and even now that brings my brother and sister and I together. So,
Wow.
Well, that's an excellent story.
That's
It is.
intense.
And
Have you
because of Jack Johnson.
no kid, have you met Jack Johnson?
I actually haven't. No, I would love to.
Dude, we got to work. Okay,
I saw him
that'd
at the
be cool.
bowl recently, so that was
Really?
fun. I
Did
didn't
you?
get a chance to
I'd
meet
love to
him
go
now.
surfing with him. I just feel like it'd be
That would
just
be
That
such
would
a
be kind
cool
of a
dude
rush,
to just
you know?
go and hang out on the beach with. I mean, that's what he is and who he is, And I relate growing up in San Diego and just feel like we get along.
I can see you on a beach fire and just playing a little guitar.
Yeah.
I mean, like a brush fire fairy tale.
All right, Logan, what you got?
Man, that's really hard. You know what? I can't think of anything right now, but I was going to
It's okay.
say Radiohead is one of those kind of like weird
Oh, yeah.
stranger bands who've been around and kept on doing
I need to get
amazing,
into radio.
interesting music.
What am I missing with Radiohead? Because they're the coolest.
Well, it's out there. It's out there. There's some weird stuff, but it's great. Like, it's very thematic, and I like that kind of stuff. Very like theatrical and
Yeah, how do you like to listen to music? Are you the kind of guy that listens to like get energy, or do you listen to
It's
like
I
kind
don't
of
listen
dig
to music.
into
I do
it?
it for a
And
job
energy.
all day.
really.
I
See, I like to get weird.
Yeah, I like the energy. I like the music hits me first, typically before the lyrics. Which
Right.
is I guess everybody's a little different with that.
Right.
But I guess as a little kid, and I was super young, obviously. But Michael Thriller. I mean, there's some I listen. to that.
That's undeniable.
I mean, it's just. I mean, that's kind of unfair to say the biggest album
Yeah,
ever.
probably
but,
the greatest of all time.
I mean, it just floored me.
That's on a different level.
See,
That's such an amazing.
I like to listen to Radiohead and stare out the window longingly.
Yeah.
Give me that look.
At me.
Wow. Look at that.
Yeah, he
look
just
at
stands
Logan.
outside Kendall's window.
Right.
Look at me.
He wears
When
those
I was a
leather
kid,
pants he's got on.
whenever a song like that came on the radio, not Radiohead in particular, but whenever there was a song like that, sort of an introspective song, I would, in the back seat of the car, stare out the window and imagine myself in a music video.
Wow.
Sometimes the
That's
group
called positive projection.
I
See
know,
what happened?
Right? I think so.
and some artists or some songs when they put you in your own music video. Like when I listen to Coldplay and when I'm driving, I
Yeah,
feel like I'm in a
Coldplay
video.
too.
Something
Very,
like that.
very music video type.
Yeah,
thing.
Absolutely.
Oh, Moby, same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's some
Dude.
old.
You guys had mentioned that you exceeded every possible expectation you set for yourselves since the reunion, which is a pretty big statement. But I'm curious now. The next
They were pretty low, just to be honest.
I mean,
yeah, goal number 1, not kill each other.
Just-
goal
yeah.
number 2.
Well,
yeah.
some of it, like actually the basics, it is just kind of like, you know what, do the best job that we can, and then it started to kind of go on from there and have a domino effect. And we were like, you know what, we can actually capable of quite a bit, and we wanted to see and test ourselves. So
you guys have what a lot of bands want: a fan base that comes to see us. It's just I mean, as simple as that. But it's way easier said than done. What are the next goals since you've reached these low expectations, like you said?
Totally.
What are we looking at? For 23 and all that. What are we? Give me a couple of goals. Obviously, the album.
well, yeah, I think that's actually probably number one for us is music. We've got fans that love the old stuff, and the streaming numbers on that stuff is amazing. And now with Paralyzed, we're starting to get some steam on the new stuff, and so I think. We'd rather have fans that come see us and play shows than just have massive streaming numbers and not the other side. But, we want to kind of add to that side this year.
I think we've
so
always been like
out.
that. I mean, success for us is not about kind of what we have and awards we get, but it's about the moments we spend with each other and with people. And I think that's probably been the best line for all of us in this band is that's what's really success for us is having a great time, making great music with great friends.
That being said, that song of ours that you played earlier in the countdown?
I think it was 13th.
Right.
Is
Paralyzed?
that coincidental?
Yeah,
That's
for it
a
to
scary
be,
number?
it would be a cool goal for it to be the one that's coming up next.
That would be nice.
Hey.
Good. We're putting it in the universe.
Yeah.
It's
There we go.
happening, man.
Yeah.
Paralyzed is out. Get on this track. New album in the works. Have no idea when it's coming out. Not a clue, but it'll be hopefully this year. Tours, all kind of crazy tours going on. You guys have agreed to stay in the haunted hotel in Brazil.
Did we
agree to that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
we didn't sign a document.
Well, also,
but
he said
I
it's a
think-
3.5 hour drive. What about a chopper?
Well, actually,
I
it
feel
was
like
on
you
the
could
radio,
spring
so
for-
it is, I guess,
Yeah, how
legally
about this?
binding.
If you get us a helicopter, we will go.
For
sure.
Fair enough. Let me work on the helicopter. Hey, what else do people need to know about Big Time Rush before you guys roll out?
South America is going to be amazing.
So excited for that tour, and we're
Jingle
certainly
balls?
not stopping anytime soon. Yep, Jingle Balls. Although I think this is coming out in January, where the
we'll chop
balls
around
have
What I
been.
mean is there will be plenty more where those came from.
These
So
balls-
if you
these
enjoyed
balls
it in
have been
December,
played.
you're going to enjoy it again.
There we go. Fellas, it's so good to see you guys. Love you guys. Honestly,
Thank you,
mean
man.
that.
Great to see you always.
That was the
brother.
other thing that we wanted to say people need to know about Big Time Rush is that we love JoJo.
JoJo.
I love Big Time Rush.
And JoJo thinks that we're the number one best band in the world.
Of course. Have I said that? I said that, right? Because
No, you didn't.
I feel like you did
They're the
with
number
your
one
eyes.
best band in the world.
Now he said it with his
Right.
mouth.
There we go.
I love it. I love it.
You got a pretty mouth.
Yeah, dude. Oh, hey. At the end of every interview, fist bump to make it official. So give me a little.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I fell over the chair.
God, I love you.